Luxembourg is one of those tiny countries that you probably overlook when viewing a map of Europe. No one really cares about it and it's just been cruising along to history. But there was once a time when Luxembourg wasn't so tiny and arguably did hold some relevance. If there were ever an irredentist movement along the Luxembourgers, this is what they claim. But these lands are now partitioned between France, Belgium, and Germany. So, consider that Luxembourg is now this, and not this. To understand how this happened, we need to start with some context. To start off, Luxembourg came to be in the year 963 AD, when a random noble who bought the land renovated its abandoned Roman fort into a new castle. This led to new settlement, so Luxembourg became its own political entity by the end of the 11th century. As the surrounding states of the Kingdom of France and the Holy Roman Empire also became distinct political entities, Luxembourg, being situated between them, became an important site for military and trade purposes. Luxembourg earned the privilege of becoming a duchy of the Holy Roman Empire in 1353. However, they lost their independence in 1443, as the ruling lineage of dukes stopped existing, and Luxembourg fell under the control of the Burgundians as part of the territory of the Burgundian Netherlands. The Burgundian rulers too made the choice to end their existence, and in 1482, their lands fell under the direct control of the rulers of the Holy Roman Empire, who by this time were the fledgling Habsburg family, being Germans named after the Swiss castle where they spawned. In 1556, the Netherlands were eventually reserved for the members of the family that ruled Spain in particular, who organized the territory into 17 provinces, Luxembourg among them. This is where Luxembourg's first partition comes in. Under Spanish rule, Luxembourg was at its greatest extent. Due to its location, the land was always sought after by France, and eventually Prussia and Belgium too. Having lost its independence for a while by then, Luxembourg's destiny was at the whim of these great European players. This was particularly the case in the mid-17th century, as the Spanish were fighting the French. This was the result of a continental rivalry between the Habsburgs and their rivals, France being the strongest among them. In the Franco-Spanish War, the primary objective of the French was to strengthen their borders against bordering Habsburg lands, since medieval borders were awful, and after 24 years of fighting, they achieved their objectives by defeating the Spanish and cleaning up the border, which included taking parts of Luxembourg, whose fortresses were important for border defense. This became important at the end of the century, as the ruling House of Bourbon installed themselves as rulers of Spain once the Spanish Habsburgs ceased to exist, but were challenged by the Austrian Habsburgs. War came and went, and at the end, the Spanish Netherlands were all taken over by Austria, including Luxembourg. Fast forward a century, Luxembourg had ceased to exist in the 1790s, being annexed into the French Empire as part of their conquest on the entire continent. This didn't last, as France was occupied by the Allied powers in 1814, including Luxembourg. A year later, while redrawing borders at the Congress of Vienna, Luxembourg, along with Belgium, was mostly awarded to the ruling royal house in the Netherlands, the House of Orange. However, the expansion of the French Empire had completely obliterated the Holy Roman Empire, freeing up several budding German states, Prussia among them. To strengthen their western border, they took a fortress in Luxembourg, and the Dutch were in no mood to resist. Not too long later, the Belgians had a change of mind and decided not to be Dutch anymore. In 1830, they declared independence, claiming and controlling much of modern Belgium, along with Limburg and Luxembourg, although the last capital remained under Dutch control. As the Dutch were forced to give up, this resulted in Luxembourg losing the majority of its land to Belgium in 1839, as the Walloons wanted to join their neighbors in the new kingdom. Ever since then, the Luxembourgish area remains in the duchy, although they have faced numerous attempts by the Germans, the Belgians, and the French to be annexed entirely. Still, it remains independent today, having been released from Dutch control in 1890 due to a royal dispute.